So tell me a little bit about the Consul family coming to America.
Grandpa Consul was born in 1872, Pasquale Consul, and he was born in a little town in Calabria, San Donato. And his wife was born in 1885, but in the very same town. And they got married in 1901, and they had a wonderful marriage, and they Grandpa had established himself in the bakery business. At one point, he was the largest Italian baker in Philadelphia and one of the most successful. And he made quite a bit of money in that business. And in fact, he was able to retire in 1918. They had a number of children. They had six girls and three boys. They were full of life and fun and very interesting people. Very interesting people. It was great to grow up with that kind of those aunts and uncles. We always had the Sunday get-togethers. It was like you had to be at Grandmom's house on Sunday for her, for her pasta dishes and whatever. And that was always a wonderful time because you had the uncles that loved you, you had the aunts that loved you, your grandmother, your grandfather. There was one story that I have to tell on my Uncle Sam. As a way of background, my mom's family was from Tuscany. Florence, all the geniuses that came out of Tuscany, Michelangelo, Galileo, almost in any field. They had more geniuses in Tuscany than they had in the entire world up until that time. So they basically looked down on the Calabrese, who were from southern Italy. They were considered number one country bumpkins, but number two, they were violent. They were known to stab people and have fights with each other and whatever. So in preparation for the marriage, my father was proposing to my mother, and they decided that at that point the families had to meet. So on this particular day, my grandfather on my mother's side, Grandpa Consul was there, and they basically were getting along until, as luck would have it, the ice cream man came around. So my mom's there, my dad's there, and the two fathers talking. And Uncle Sammy happened to be there. So Uncle Sammy goes out to the vendor to get ice cream cones. And Grandpa Consul said, "Don't get the ice cream cones from this vendor," because he apparently had some tiff with the man, and there was a matter of egos going on here. I don't want his ice cream. The man that was selling the ice cream, on the other hand, said, "Here's the ice cream," gave it to Uncle Sam, "and you don't have to pay anything." In other words, he was taking the high. No, he wasn't taking the high road. He was basically rubbing it in. You think you're something, I'm going to give you these ice cream cones. So there was my grandfather from Tuscany says, "How the hell is this even happening around me?" Because Grandpa Consul says, "Don't take the ice cream cones. Don't take the ice cream cones." Well, Uncle Sammy took the ice cream cones, and as he was walking back, Grandpa Consul was on the way up the stairs to get his gun. So the utter horror to my mother, my sweet mother, and her father, Uncle Sammy starts running down the road. I don't know whether he had the ice cream cones at this point, but he was in full acceleration. Grandpa Consul came out and was shooting at him. Luckily, he wasn't a great shot. And he had a handgun anyway, and by that time, Uncle Sam was down the road. He didn't come back for about 6 months before they made up. But that was the difference between the families. They were successful in their own ways, but they really had a whole different ethos. Okay, in any event, my mother and father married, had me, my sister Joanne, and my sister Susan. It was a very successful marriage. But I had amazing cousins. I had cousins that were so amazing. But there's many, many stories because, again, these people. But the one thing that united us was everybody loved each other.